The stakes could not be higher going into last night's edition of NXT, thanks to an ill-fated bet and multiple Iron Survivor Challenge qualifiers. Andre Chase bet everything he had to get his hands on Ridge Holland again, including Chase U. NXT champion Trick Williams spiced things up by declaring he would face the winner at Deadline on December 7th. This week's Iron Survivor Challenge qualifiers included Zarya versus Ren Sinclair and Nathan Frazier versus Eddie Thorpe. But the biggest match was Stephanie Vacour versus Jada Parker, both possible favorites to win at Deadline if they qualified. Fatal Influence promised to speak after Fallon Henley successfully retained the Women's North American Championship last week. Brooks Jensen took a shot at North American champion Tony D'Angelo, while Carmen Petrovic and Ashante Diadonis tried to get on the same page in a mixed tag team match. Last night would have a major impact on the future of NXT with multiple unpredictable bouts. Hey there, welcome everybody to another edition of Wednesday Night Madness right here on the Tone 25 here on YouTube and StreamYard.com. My name is Anthony Floyer and I will be your host tonight. I am sitting in tonight for good old MF Michael Fletcher. Work commitments beyond his control. He'll be back with us tomorrow night for College Football Thursday. So for tonight, I am joined by Michael Bullock, and without any further ado, we got a loaded show tonight, so we're not going to waste any time. We're just going to dive right on in. NXT last night on the CW, of course, and we started it off with the men's Iron Survivor qualifying match. Nathan Frazier squaring off against Eddie Thorpe, and Nathan Frazier wins the match 10 minutes and 37 seconds. Wow. Interesting match on paper, became a segment in practice. So much focus was placed on the tag teams that the actual qualifier became an afterthought. Frazier won, likely setting him up for double duty at Deadline and lose both the Iron Survivor Challenge and NXT Tag Team Championships. If NXT has the confidence to keep up with the numbers involved, this could set up a tag team Iron Survivor at Deadline for the titles, which would be a fun watch. Eddie Thorpe was the clear loser in this scenario, as he should have been able to win amid all the chaos. He has been teasing growing frustration that could lead to a heel turn shortly down the line. And that's really all I can say on this. So solid 3 1/4, teetering on 3 1/2. Solid jump off here. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, your thoughts as Nathan Frazier qualifies for the men's Iron Survivor Challenge at Deadline. He defeats Eddie Thorpe in 10 minutes and 37 seconds.
Yeah, 3 1/4, 3 1/2. I thought this was a really good match here, and and like you said, now Frazier moves on to the Iron Survivor Challenge. So, yeah, who knows what to expect out of him? But yeah, a good solid match. So, nothing more to say. Floria, let's move on to our next match.
All right, a lot of backstage promo stuff. And let's get into our next match, the women's Iron Survivor qualifier. Stephanie Vacour squaring off against Jada Parker. Stephanie Vacour wins the match 10 minutes and 53 seconds. Michael Bullock, no big surprise about this outcome. We all knew Stephanie Vacour was going to win, but boy, howdy, did Jada Parker give her one hell of a fight.
Yeah, I mean, Jada Parker did give Stephanie Vacour one heck of a fight. But I can only give this 3 stars because, unfortunately, we did get some interference from Lola Vice. I mean, I'm guessing it's obvious that Lola Vice is not through with Jada Parker. But Stephanie Vacour moves on. So, I mean, it's a 3 1/4 match, quarter-star match, but I'm bumping it down to 3 because of Lola Vice's interference.
Fair enough. It's a 3-star match for me as well. This was a good showcase for Vacour, who effortlessly looked like she belonged next to one of NXT's more established rising stars. Even with her talent in the ring, it would have been easy to assume she needed a transition period to adjust to WWE style. That has not been necessary, as she already has consistently looked like one of NXT's best. The same can be said of Jada Parker, who has improved greatly, especially after stepping up to Roxanne Perez. This was one of her better matches and significantly better than her contest with Lola Vice. That is why it is a shame that NXT is already returning to Parker versus Vice when both women could have learned more from working off veterans like Vakur and Julia in the Iron Survivor Challenge. The right woman won, but this may have been the wrong pairing of talent. After Zarya and Julia qualify, it'll be interesting to see who gets the less predictable final spot. So that's all I can say on that one. So it was 3.25, but I'm bumping it. We're going to bump that down to 3. Absolutely. So with that being said, let's move on to our next match. As it was a non-title match, there will be a couple of cutouts here. This is one of them. Tony D'Angelo versus Brooks Jensen in a non-title match. Tony D'Angelo wins the match, 4 minutes and 25 seconds. Quick and forgettable, but that has been most of Brooks Jensen's in-ring solo work. He just hasn't figured out his style yet, and he may need another full character reset to get there. It is not helping that he doesn't fit well with Spears. The two lack chemistry or even matching style. Maybe the reset can come from Jensen fully embracing Shawn Spears' way of looking at things. A possible injury angle after this match may help sell why the chairman has a chance against D'Angelo, but he does not come off as a real threat at the moment. Next week on NXT, Tony D'Angelo will defend the North American Championship against Shawn Spears. So definitely something to keep an eye out on that one. So not that much of a match there. So we're just gonna bypass that match. Not really worth getting into. Then we have another cutout here. Mixed tag team match. Ashante The Adonis and Carmen Petrovic squaring off against Dion Lennox and Brinley Reese. And Carmen Petrovic and Ashante The Adonis win the match, 3 minutes and 48 seconds. Another forgettable match, if I'm being honest. It was over before it started. Adonis and Lennox were bad together, while Reese and Petrovic did not get enough time to work off each other. Even though the Adonis-Petrovic pairing is somewhat interesting, this all felt like a waste of time on a show with more important stories to tell. Hopefully, this will at least lead to more Petrovic matches, as she has been out of the ring too often recently. So I'm not even going to bother with a rating on that. The only thing of note was that both teams wore gear supporting the Washington State Cougars and Oregon State Beavers ahead of the college football game that will air on the CW this Saturday. So, and we will talk about that as part of our College Football Thursday show tomorrow night. All right. So we move on now to our next match, which is even though this was a short match, this is something that definitely needs to be addressed. Women's Iron Survivor qualifier match. Zarya squaring off against Ren Sinclair. Zarya wins the match, 4 minutes and 11 seconds. Short matches in NXT can be frustrating, but Zarya makes every second count in what are largely one-sided fights so far. She is the powerhouse that NXT has needed since Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez headed to the main roster, and she is already showing she has upside to rival those women. Ren Sinclair did her job well and should continue to get opportunities until she also breaks through to major title scenes. I'll give this 2 stars for the effort, but Michael Bolick business has picked up. Zarya is now in the Women's Iron Survivor match, along with Stephanie Vakur and Sol Ruca. We got 2 legitimate favorites. Zarya, Stephanie Vakur. You got to imagine Julia's going to be in there somewhere. And if that's the case, we could be looking at the best Women's Iron Survivor match so far.
Did you actually write this match?
No rating. No rating. Take it.
Yeah. It
doesn't deserve a rating. You're right.
It's a no. Right. Yeah, I mean, 4 minutes and 2 seconds, that's too short. And it just felt like a squash match. I mean, but yeah, Zarya is definitely got to be the favorite to win the challenge, but we'll see. I mean, she's definitely one of the favorites. You also got to say maybe Stephanie Vakur is going to be the other favorite. So we'll wait and see. So nothing more to say. Let's move on.
Okay. We got a promo segment here. Fatal Influence. They came out and cut a promo, and Okay, a lot of stuff happened here. Fatal Influence delivered a warning to the women's division. No one could match them. Fallon Henley then offered an open challenge for her women's North American Championship. Chaos broke out with the likes of Lash legend Jakara Jackson, Adriana Rizzo, and Nikita Lyons headed to the ring to answer the call. But Tatum Paxley was the one to get to Fallon Henley first, and she laid out the champion. So, well, Bullock, it looks like Fallon Henley has her next challenger for her Women's North American Championship, Tatum Paxley, answering the call amidst all that chaos.
Well, obviously, I mean, the others had a chance, but like you said, with all the craziness and obviously Adriana Rizzo makes sure that Nikita Lyons didn't get the opportunity with and basically jumped her. So yeah, with all that chaos, you could forget about that. And Tatum Paxley was the one who got it. So, and yeah, we're getting that match next week with Tatum Paxley against Fallon Henley for that Women's North American Championship.
Indeed, we are. And this was a great way to immediately sell the Women's North American Championship scene. It was similarly effective to the best moment in Wes Lee's North American Championship reign. Henley has significant work to do to earn that same prestige. Tatum Paxley is a solid filler challenger for next week, but she needs longer-term rivals as well. All right, this is the big one. This is the big main event here. And announced for, well, never mind. We're gonna get into our main event here. This is the big one, the number one contender match for the NXT Championship. Ridge Holland versus Andre Chase. If Andre Chase loses, Chase University must disband. And well, I'm afraid I've got some bad news, because the winner of the match in 11 minutes and 53 seconds and the number one contender for the NXT Championship, Ridge Holland. Ridge Holland wins the match, and with that, Chase U must disband. Fight of the night, 3.5 stars. And I'll tell you what, Andre Chase and Ridge Holland do not have much chemistry, but the emotion of the crowd carried a fairly basic match to the necessary heights for this main event moment. The result was tough to stomach, though. If this is the end of Chase U, it is a deeply disappointing final chapter for a story that was so much more than it had any right to be. In particular, Chase U was never truly allowed to enjoy success. Each major victory was quickly snatched away. Losing it all like this after Holland completely buried each member of the group would be heartbreaking. However, this is one way to lean into Ridge Holland as NXT's top heel. Chase U was completely sacrificed to get him over. Deadline will be the test of how much it paid off. Hopefully NXT is not quite done with Chase U and has a plan to give those that have been kicked out a chance for redemption. Trick Williams can even elevate himself as NXT's top babyface by helping. Solid 3.5 stars. And I'm not surprised with the outcome. I had a feeling Holland was going to win. I'm sure Bullock feels the same way. So not much more to say on this. Michael Bullock, time of the fall, 11 minutes and 53 seconds. Ridge Holland, the number one contender, he goes on to Deadline to challenge Trick Williams for the NXT Championship. Whereas for Chase U, well, turn out the lights, the party's over.
Yeah, 3.5 stars for me. A fight of the night. No, the outcome was never in doubt. I mean, Ridge Holland had to be the next challenger for Trick Williams, and I'm going to be quite honest with you, Florio, and I'm about to do something I never thought I would be able to do. I'm about to go harsh on Chase U here, and all I can say is goodbye and good riddance to that group, because sorry to. All I can say is that that's more of a campy comedy group, because they were part of that horrible NXT 2.0 that I literally can't stand. So I know people are going to probably come after me and say, "Oh, look, come on, they've gotten better since they got rid of the 2.0." But Come on,
Really?
they were still the same freaking group, for gosh sakes. The same campy comedy group that I never liked at all. So goodbye, good riddance, and get the you know what out of here, you guys.
Yes, indeed. I couldn't agree with
And
you
if
more.
anybody in Chase U doesn't like it, tough shit.
Too bad, so sad. We're here to tell it like it is, and that's what we just did.
Yeah, and I know Florio feels the same way.
I hated him just as much as you did, Bullet. Come on. Actually, no, I hated him even more than you did. Nobody's happy about this more than I am. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Get the you know what out of here with that weak sauce.
Yeah, get out of here, Andre Chase. Get out of here, Thea Hale, and all the rest of you. Chase you.
Turn out the lights. The party's over. Overall review time. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this was a 6 out of 10. I mean, we just had too many. We just had too many cutouts here in this on this edition of NXT. So, not really all I can say. It's yours, Florio.
What'd you give it again?
6.
What did you give it for a rating once again?
6.
Okay. About 6.5. Despite a seemingly strong lineup, this was not a great show for in-ring action. However, it did make up for that with strong story beats. The Iron Survivor Challenge qualifiers are shaping up to deliver 2 exciting matches at Deadline, helped especially by the immensely talented women's roster. Stephanie Vacour and Jada Parker put on the best fight of the night and sold the possibility of future clashes between these women with more stakes. The main event between Ridge Holland and Andre Chase was difficult to watch, but only because NXT had done such a great job emotionally charging the segment. Even if it could have been built up better and Chase U could have been treated better before last night, the company did a phenomenal job completing Ridge Holland's rise to top heel status. He will just need to prove he was worthy of that spotlight over younger talent with higher upside based on his feud to come with Trick Williams. NXT is living up to its darker color scheme with a grittier presentation week to week, and the talent are making the most of the spotlight. It would be nice to see longer matches more consistently, though. So I'll give it 6 to 6.5. So with that being said, let's get into AEW Dynamite, the go home show for the Full Gear pay-per-view that comes up this Saturday night, and we're going to have a preview of that in just a little bit. We are just a few days away from the Full Gear pay-per-view, so tonight's show was one of the last chances AEW had to tie up any loose ends heading into the show. And tonight's show was live from the Santander Arena in Reading, Pennsylvania, exclusively on TBS, and we started it off with an 8-man tag team matchup. Will Ospreay, Powerhouse Hobbs, Ricochet, and Mark Davis squaring off against the Don Callis family, International Champion Konosuke Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher, Lance Archer, and the Ring of Honor Television Champion Brian Cage. The winners of the match, 14.5 minutes, and it was the heel team. It was the Don Callis family winning the match, 14 minutes and 30 seconds. And this was a good choice to open the show because it provided a lot of chaotic action to get the crowd amped up for the rest of the show. All 8 men played their parts well and did a good job making it so everyone had at least one moment to stand out. So I'll give this a solid 3.5, teetering on 3 3/4. One of the fights of the night for sure. So not much more to say on that. So Michael Bullock, the Don Callis family, getting a big win here in this 8-man tag. They win the match, 14 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, this was a solid way to start off this edition of Dynamite, and a match like this definitely sold it. So 3.5 stars. I mean, yeah, the heel team got the win, like you said, and who knows, maybe this could be some kind of booking 101 when it comes to Full Gear. Well, especially with some of the matches that relate to this. So you'll get our thoughts on it when we preview Full Gear. So nothing more to say. Let's move on.
All right. After that, we had Renee Paquette outside the arena waiting to interview the Hurt Syndicate in the parking lot. When they arrived, MVP announced that Bobby Lashley would be competing on Dynamite. And then a moment later, Swerve Strickland took Bobby Lashley down with a cheap shot before running away. After that, we had an in-ring segment. Adam Cole made his way to the ring. He said he was disappointed to not be facing MJF, but was confident in Roderick Strong's ability. Kyle O'Reilly joined him in the ring and talked about their long journey together in wrestling. He said Cole needs to stop his quest to take out MJF before somebody gets hurt. So we're not going to really waste any more time on that. Let's get back to the action. Good women's match here. Chris Statlander squaring off against Hikaru Shida. Chris Statlander winning the match 9 minutes and 20 seconds. After the match was over, Mercedes Moné and Camille, they came out. Mercedes Moné ordered Camille to go after Statlander and Shida, but it was Statlander and Shida who got the best of Camille. So not much more to say on this. So Bullock, your thoughts as Chris Statlander defeats Hikaru Shida 9 minutes and 20 seconds, giving her momentum for her TBS title match against Mercedes Moné this Saturday night at Full Gear.
Yeah, solid 3 here. I mean, this was a solid match here, and it definitely gives Chris Statlander some momentum going into her matchup against Mercedes Moné for the TBS championship. I mean, obviously, Camille and Moné trying to get a cheap shot on both of them, but yeah, how did that all go? Not so well. So we'll see what happens come Saturday night to see if Statlander can become the TBS champion or Mercedes Moné will still be the champ. So nothing more to say. It's yours, Florio.
Solid match, but it was missing something to take it from good to great. It's possible the predictability had an impact, but there is no denying these wrestlers worked hard. Chris Statlander scored a clean win with her finisher, but that was not the end. Mercedes, Moné, and Camille came out to the stage so the CEO could talk some trash. She tried to send an injured Camille into the ring to fight Stat, but the Brickhouse looked hesitant. She went in and took a swing, but Stat and Shida easily took her out. And then Mercedes tried to hit a backstabber, but Statlander countered and hit her finisher to put the champ down. My guess is Mercedes retains, but we'll get more into that in just a little bit. So, solid 3 stars. I definitely agree with that. So, all right. Moving on. This was Bobby Lashley squash match here. He went up against 2 dud enhancement talents, Joe Keys. But the other enhancement talent, I'll be honest, he's a guy that Good Old MF Michael Fletcher knows very well. And I wish he was here because he would have given us a little bit of a background because I know he knows this guy very well. Not Joe Keys, but Joe Keys' partner in this match, Cheeseburger. Cheeseburger from Ring of Honor. I know MF knows the guy very well, but it didn't matter. Bobby Lashley squashed him in 2 minutes and 5 seconds. I'm not going to rate it a dud. I'm going to rate it DS for delicious squash because it was a delicious squash. It lasted longer than expected, but that's only because the AEW newcomer was playing with his food. And Lashley won with the Hurt Lock, but then Swerve came out and he popped out from under the ring and attacked Bobby Lashley with a chain wrapped around his fist. So that's really all there is to say on that. We're not going to waste any time on that. Then we had all right, a much better match here. Darby Allin squaring off against Claudio Castagnoli. Claudio Castagnoli wins the match 13 minutes and 50 seconds. Another 3.5 to 3 3/4 star match. For a long time, Claudio was absolutely dominant. Darby had to pull some high-risk moves out of his bag of tricks to get in any offense, but even then, Claudio usually only let him get in a few hits before reversing the momentum again. They took the fight out of the ring with a powerhouse swung Allin into the steel steps, threw him over the announce table, and pressed him over his head before slamming him from one table into another. And after Allen barely managed to crawl back into the ring, Castagnoli took his head off of the clothesline to score the win. This was an awesome display of dominance from Claudio and a great performance from Darby Allin. And the way Castagnoli sells for smaller guys is an underrated skill he possesses. The way he went over for the Code Red looked perfect. Another 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star match. Very good match. Another one of the few highlights of this show tonight. So, Michael Bullock, your thoughts as Claudio Castagnoli defeats Darby Allin 13 minutes and 50 seconds.
Yeah, 3.5, 3 3/4. I mean, what can you say? I mean, another really good match here. But yeah, there were times during the match that Claudio Castagnoli dominated Darby Allin, and I'll tell you, when he threw Allin right onto the ring announcer's table, I'm like thinking, oh my gosh, he's seriously hurt. There was part of me that was like, just stay down, Darby Allin. I mean, with the way Claudio is with this new group, he ain't afraid to hurt anybody. But he still got up. But at the end, him getting up and getting back in that ring, that was the beginning of the end for him when he got clotheslined big time. So nothing more to say. It is yours, Florio.
Okay. Lot of and then this is almost pretty much where the show falls off a cliff.
Big time.
Yeah, a lot of stuff here. Like I said, a lot of backstage stuff. And then Tony Schiavone on the stage interviewed Roderick Strong. You know, cutting a promo about the MJF match. Who cares? And then they showed the footage of Daniel Garcia and Jack Perry. Very intense, to say the very least. Then we had a contract signing for Chris Jericho and Tomohiro Ishii. They will battle it out. They will battle next Wednesday night on Dynamite for the Ring of Honor World Championship. Smart move not putting this on the pay-per-view. It did not need to be on the pay-per-view as it is. Pay-per-view is fine as it is. This
doesn't need Chris Jericho on the pay-per-view.
What's that?
And this doesn't need Chris Jericho on the pay-per-view.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But they will have their they will be on next week on Dynamite. So that's where you'll get this match, not on the pay-per-view. Thank goodness. Let's see.
Yeah, but at least we won't have to talk about it next week.
Yes, indeed not. Well, we got to check in with MF just to be 100% sure before we do anything with that. So, but anyways, main event time. Orange Cassidy squaring off against Wheeler Yuta. Orange Cassidy wins the match, 12 minutes and 15 seconds. Bullock, do you lead off on this or do I lead off on this?
I think I lead off on it.
All right, your thoughts. Orange Cassidy wins 12 minutes and 15 seconds.
Yeah, I'll give this about 3 1/4 to 3.5 here. I mean, it was a solid main event, but at the end, obviously, the Death Riders come out and they duct tape Orange Cassidy, and they basically just have a freaking field day with him. So, yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. It's yours, Florio.
3 1/4, 3.5. This was designed to make Wheeler Yuta look like a dangerous competitor and Orange Cassidy look like a valiant babyface who won't give up. And it accomplished both goals because both of these guys are talented performers who know each other well. This was the best choice to put in the main event spot because of the story. Everything they did looked great, and they told a story that made sense. And obviously Orange Cassidy got the win, and then Pac came out of nowhere, took him down, and the rest of the Death Riders arrived, and they continued to beat up on OC. And then the conglomeration finally came out, drove Mox and the crew away so they could cut Cassidy free of the duct tape, and the show ended with Orange Cassidy standing up to prove he was not a beaten man. So, and go back and watch Wheeler Yuta's early AEW work. He has improved so much, which is impressive because he was already very good when he got there. So this was another 3.25, 3.5. So with that, overall thoughts. Tonight's go-home episode of Dynamite did a good job selling all of the feuds that will make up the Full Gear pay-per-view card while also providing some fun matches along the way. Bobby Lashley's squash was nothing special by design, but everything else we saw ranged from good to great, with 2 bouts standing out above the rest. Darby Allin and Claudio Castagnoli had an entertaining and physical encounter that would have been right at home on the pay-per-view, but the main event outdid them by a small margin. Wheeler Yuta and Orange Cassidy put on a fantastic display of both technical wrestling and brutality. Having Orange Cassidy survive Moxley's post-match attack and end the show standing tall made him look better than any other segment in this feud. And Full Gear has what appears to be a predictable lineup, but the quality of the matches is sure to be high, and if AEW can squeeze in a few surprises, it will be a success. I will give this in excess of 7.5. So, Michael Bullock, let's get your thoughts, your overall thoughts, and then we'll dive into the Full Gear preview.
Yeah, 7 to 7.5 for me as well on this. So, yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more to say. Let's get into Full Gear.
AEW Full Gear pay-per-view. It'll be the 6th annual installment, and it will emanate this Saturday night from the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey, the home of the NHL's New Jersey Devils, of course. And so let me find the correct order of this. And okay, I just need to check the card real quick, and we shall see. I just want to make I always want to do it in the proper order. So, well, as of right now, there's only one pre-show match. Big Boom AJ squaring off against QT Marshall. Yeah, nobody gives two you-know-whats about that. So, all right. So, I'm going to go from top to bottom on this card. So, we'll start it off with the match. MJF squaring off against Roderick Strong. And I got to go with MJF to win this. I mean, I'm honestly surprised that Adam Cole is not on this card, but clearly Tony Khan is slow playing his eventual showdown with MJF. Given the role that the Undisputed Kingdom played in the Brochacho saga last year, it makes sense to give Roderick Strong the preliminary bout against MJF. But in the end, I expect Max to leave Newark as the winner. So I'm going with MJF to win. So Michael Bullock, MJF versus Roderick Strong. I got MJF. What says you?
Who'd you go with?
I went with MJF.
Yeah, I'm unfortunately going to have to go with MJF as well. And he's going to come up with some sneaky, dirty way to try to beat Roderick Strong. So MJF wins. Let's move on.
Hangman Adam Page versus Switchblade Jay White. Pick me a winner.
All right. I mean, this should be a good one here, and obviously it's gotten personal with these two. So, this is a tough one, but I'm going to go with the Hangman Adam Page to win this. I mean, he's going to probably do something sick with his new attitude to beat up on Jay White. So, Hangman wins. It's yours, Florio.
Hangman Adam Page was riding a wave of momentum into his match with Jay White at Wrestle Dream, and that led to a lot of people going with him to win that match, but he did not. But I got to go with Hangman to win here to even the score, and then maybe they have a rubber match down the road on a future Dynamite, or maybe at World's End. I don't know. So I'm going with Hangman to win this one. Fatal 4-way match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. The champions, Private Party, Isaiah Cassidy, and Mark Quinn, defending against the Outrunners, Truth Magnum and Turbo Floyd, Kings of the Black Throne, Malachi Black and Brody King, and the Acclaimed, Anthony Bowens and Max Caster. I got to go with Private Party to successfully defend. I mean, they just won the titles. Their Private Party are set on being fighting champions. They've called on any and all challengers to step up to the plate, and that landed them in this fatal 4-way match. The Acclaimed are a team to watch, given everything that's been going on behind the scenes with the Hurt Syndicate. But would Tony Khan really follow up on Private Party's big win over the Young Bucks by having them lose in their first defense? I don't think so. Winners and still the AEW World Tag Team Champions, Private Party. Michael Bullock, what says you?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Private Party to win this one as well. I mean they just won the titles weeks ago. I mean they will have themselves a challenge, but I think they'll somehow overcome it. So Private Party retains. Let's move on.
Okay, let's see who's next. All right. Next up is the matchup for the AEW TBS Championship. Champion Mercedes Moné defending the title against Chris Statlander. Michael Bullock, who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Mercedes Moné to retain. I mean, Chris Statler got over. Of course, we saw it tonight on Dynamite, and the booking 101 is obvious here. Mercedes Moné retains, even though a lot of the IWC don't want to see it because they don't like Mercedes Moné and her brash arrogance way. But it is what it is. It's yours, Florio.
Chris Statlander is looking to right a wrong from last year's Full Gear pay-per-view when she lost her TBS championship to Julia Hart in a triple threat match that also featured Sky Blue. Stat has a huge mountain to climb as she faces off against Mercedes Moné. The CEO is undefeated since stepping foot in AEW, and it's definitely going to be Mercedes going over here. So the winner and still AEW TBS champion, it is Mercedes Moné, the CEO. CEO goes over in this one,
and to stick it to the IWC.
Yes, stick it to the IWC. Yes. Swerve Strickland squaring off against Bobby Lashley. I'm sorry, I got to go with Bobby Lashley in this one. I mean, he's there now, and Bobby Lashley going over a former AEW World Heavyweight Champion in his debut match would send a major message that the Hurt Syndicate is in All Elite Wrestling to do more than just make money. Could the booking of this match really be that simple? I believe that to be the case. So I am going with Bobby Lashley to win this match. So Michael Bullock, what says you?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to go with Bobby Lashley to beat Swerve Strickland. I mean, it should be good, but I think it's at the end, it's going to be Bobby Lashley going over here. So let's move on.
AEW TNT Championship on the line. The champion, Jack Perry, defending against Daniel Garcia. Bullock, I know who you want to win, but who's really going to win?
Yeah, I really want to see Daniel Garcia win because, as Florio knows, and I'm sure everybody else knows, I can't stand Jack Perry because of his disgusting attitude, and of course, with what he did during that led to CM Punk going back to WWE. So, as much as I want to see it happen, unfortunately, I got to go with Jack Perry to retain. So it's yours, Florio.
Tony Khan had nothing but great things to say about Daniel Garcia after he re-signed with AEW last month. He was ecstatic to hang on to one of pro wrestling's future main event stars, and now it's time to send him on that path. Given Khan's monetary investment in Garcia and the current state of the heel, heavy, AEW championship scene, I think it might be time for a young babyface to get his opportunity to run with the TNT championship. So I'm actually going to take a chance here, and I'm going to say the winner and new TNT champion, Daniel Garcia. But would I be surprised if Jack Perry successfully defends? No, I wouldn't. But I'm actually going to take a chance here. I'm going to go for a bold prediction here, and I'm going to go with Daniel Garcia to become the new AEW TNT champion. The battle of former friends and partners, now bitter enemies. Will Ospreay squaring off against Kyle Fletcher. Will Ospreay is out for revenge against his former friend and tag team partner after Kyle Fletcher cost him the international championship at WrestleDream. This is guaranteed to be a deeply personal matchup against two of the best in-ring performers that AEW has to offer. As if Fletcher wasn't a tough enough challenge already, you just know that Ospreay is going to have to watch out for the rest of the Don Callis family. Who wins? The fans are the real winners here. And good luck to whoever has to follow this on the card. I'm inclined to go with Will Ospreay. I mean, Will Ospreay would be the safe choice here. But my gut is telling me to go with Kyle Fletcher for some odd reason. And I wouldn't be surprised, because of the Don Callis family and the whole nine. But I'm actually going to take another chance here. I'm going to go for another bold prediction. And I'm actually going to go with Kyle Fletcher to steal this match because of nefarious means. Mainly the Don Callis family. So I got Kyle Fletcher stealing this one. But would I be surprised if Ospreay wins this? No, I certainly would not. But whenever you have a blood feud like this, 9 times out of 10, the heel usually gets the first match. So I'm going to follow that logic, and I'm going to say Kyle Fletcher wins this match, but not cleanly. So, Volek, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kyle Fletcher to win this one as well, and I don't think he's going to win it cleanly as well. I think the Don Callis family is going to interfere and make sure that Fletcher does get his moment. So, Kyle Fletcher wins. Let's move on.
Main event of the evening. AEW World Heavyweight Championship on the line. The champion, Jon Moxley, defending against freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. Michael Bullock, I think out of all the matches on this card, this is hands down the easiest one and the lock of the pay-per-view right here.
Yeah, this is definitely the easiest and the lock of this. It's Jon Moxley. I mean, Orange Cassidy, I'm sure will give an effort, but at the end of the day, it's the Jon Moxley wins and retains the title.
Orange will get some. He's gonna get several hope spots. He's gonna get a lot of hope spots here. But here's the thing, though. It was at this very same pay-per-view last year that Orange Cassidy pulled off one of the biggest wins of his professional wrestling career when he defeated Jon Moxley to retain his then AEW International Championship. Fast forward to Saturday, and Cassidy will not only be battling for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, but also an opportunity to throw a massive wrench into the Death Riders' takeover plans. Orange is just the first in a potentially long line of challengers for Jon Moxley. So, winner and still the AEW World Heavyweight Champion, it is Jon Moxley. So, one last order of business here tonight. And that is a preview of tomorrow night's Thursday Night Football game on Amazon Prime Video, as it will feature and as of right now, this is our number 4 game of the week, but that could change. As of right now, this is our number 4 game of the week on our side of the ledger. It's a matchup. It's an AFC North divisional matchup, as it will feature the Pittsburgh Steelers squaring off against the Cleveland Browns from Cleveland Browns Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. Amazon Prime Video will have it, of course. And we know who's working that as always. The legendary Al Michaels, along with Kirk Herbstreit and the beautiful Kaylee Hartung. And first meeting between these two divisional rivals this season. And the spread favors Pittsburgh, but only by 3.5. I was expecting a much higher spread, but it's only 3.5. But Pittsburgh is the favorite, so 3.5 point spread for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh leads the all-time regular season series 79-62 with a tie. Both teams split last year, both teams winning at home. And here's the thing, the Cleveland Browns have actually won the last 2 years in a row at home against Pittsburgh. Cleveland beat Pittsburgh last year 13-10. And then in 2022, Cleveland also beat Pittsburgh in Cleveland 29-17. Pittsburgh hasn't won in Cleveland since 2021. That was a 15-10 final. So with all that being said, let's get into the. Oh, and before I do anything else, not everybody has Amazon Prime Video, of course, but for the people of Pittsburgh and Cleveland, you can watch this game on your NBC affiliate, which is WPXI NBC Channel 11 in Pittsburgh. For the people of Cleveland, you can watch this game on your ABC affiliate, WEWS ABC Channel 5 in Cleveland. So for Pittsburgh, it's your NBC affiliate. For Cleveland, it's your ABC affiliate. Very unique. So with all that being said, now let's dive on into this matchup here. Okay. The Steelers' defense and special teams have been the foundation for their division-leading success all season long. Whether they can transcend to be a complete, more dominant team to challenge the Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs, and others for the AFC Championship depends on the offense better executing in the red zone with Russell Wilson. The Browns' defense is reeling with ineptitude and injuries, and throwing Jameis Winston at the Steelers' D also sounds bad. Is this a letdown game for Pittsburgh on a short week? The Browns are 1-4 straight up at home, and Jameis Winston took a combined total of 8 sacks in losses to the Baltimore Ravens and Los Angeles Chargers. Pittsburgh has allowed more than 17 points just twice this season. Russell Wilson has taken 3 or more sacks in 4 starts, but he's limiting the interceptions. I got the Steelers winning. I got the Steelers grinding out another AFC North win here. And I believe they will keep their momentum going from that big win they had against the Baltimore Ravens this past Sunday. I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers to win this one. I'm going to say 24-13. Pittsburgh defeats Cleveland tomorrow night on Prime Video. Not much more to say except take us home, Bullock.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Pittsburgh Steelers as well. I don't expect a letdown here, especially against a team like the Cleveland Browns. So give me the Pittsburgh Steelers to win. So let's wrap it up.
All right, and that will put the bow on this special edition of Wednesday Night Madness. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. We'll be back with you again tomorrow night, 10:30, right back here on the Tone 25 for the Week 13 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. We got a loaded slate. I mean, it also includes
before you get to that, Florio, I might go on a little rant about the playoff rankings.
A playoff ranking rant, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you saw it, but Ohio State went from number 2 to number 5, and Indiana from number 5 to number.
No, Ohio State's still number 2
in the playoff ranking.
Yeah.
Are you sure about?
I don't know. I think you must have misread something there, but Ohio State is still 2.
I think it's the seeding that I probably got so confused by.
That could be.
All right, never mind.
Okay. One Friday game and a whole ton of Saturday games. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. We got 20 games to address tomorrow night, including a huge double main event. Number 5 Indiana at number 2 Ohio State, and then number 19 Army against number 6 Notre Dame at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. But we'll get into all of the games tomorrow night in the week as part of the Week 13 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Thursday. TXN Sportsbook College Football Thursday, rather. And then Friday night, of course, we have the Week 12 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday. The AFC side of the ledger, not all that exciting, if I'm going to be honest with you, outside of one game, though. And that's the Harbaugh Bowl. The Baltimore Ravens and the Los Angeles Chargers, Harbaugh versus Harbaugh. John Harbaugh versus Jim Harbaugh. All the other games, But the NFC side, far better, if I'm going to be honest with you. And we'll get into all that and on Friday. And that's all I know for right now until we talk to MF, and we'll see what MF says about the future content after that. So that's it for now. So until tomorrow night for the week that puts the bow on this. So until tomorrow night for the Week 13 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday, this is Anthony Florio here for Michael Bullock, for the phenom Michael Bullock, and of course, in spirit, good old MF Michael Fletcher, and of course, the first lady of our show, the one and only Twisted Angel Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up, watching Force style. But for now, my friends, God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Thursday, and until tomorrow night, for the Week 13 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday, you've been watching this special edition of Wednesday Night Madness right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and Streamy.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.